Are you thinking about moving in with your kids as you get older? It sounds like the loving, logical choice, right? You'll be closer to family, save money, and they'll help take care of you as you age. That's exactly what I thought, and it cost me everything. At 71, I made what I believed was a safe, sensible decision. I moved in with my adult children. Within a year, my finances were drained, my mental health was shattered, and the people I trusted most had grown distant and cold. I gave up my independence, my peace, my home, and there's no getting it back. And I'm not the only one. Let me tell you about Davis. At 73, he was a proud widower living peacefully in his own home in Vermont. When his daughter Jennifer asked him to sell his house and move in with her family in Michigan, it seemed like a perfect plan. "You'll be close to the grandkids, we'll save money, and we'll take care of you," she said. Davis trusted her. He sold the home he'd lived in for 37 years, packed up his life, and moved 800 miles away. Within 6 months, his $220,000 was nearly gone. His daughter became distant. His grandkids avoided him. He slipped into depression and developed high blood pressure. And worst of all, he had nowhere else to go. This could absolutely happen to you. It's happening to thousands of older Americans right now, but you don't have to be next. In this video, I'll reveal the 5 fatal dangers of moving in with your adult children after 70 and what you must do to protect yourself. Don't risk everything. Hit subscribe and let's talk about the truth no one else is telling you. Number 1. Financial disaster. The hidden cost of moving. Have you ever considered that moving in with your children could leave you completely broke within months? Most people don't see it coming. It begins with good intentions, loving conversations, and hopeful plans for the future. But what starts as a sensible solution often becomes a quiet financial disaster that unfolds behind closed doors. You'd be surprised how often this happens. In fact, top financial advisors who specialize in elder planning are raising serious concerns about a trend they're seeing far too frequently. Seniors moving in with their adult children, only to lose control over their money, their independence, and their future. According to the National Center on Elder Abuse, over 90% of financial exploitation cases involving seniors are committed by someone in the family, most often their own adult children. That's not just a statistic. That's a red flag waving right in front of us. Take the story of Marlene, a retired schoolteacher from Ohio. At 74, she decided to sell her townhouse and move into her daughter's home in North Carolina. Her daughter, Ashley, welcomed her with open arms, assuring her it would be a win-win. "We'll pool resources," she said. "You'll be closer to the kids, and you'll never have to worry about living alone again." It sounded perfect. Marlene sold her home for $210,000 and, on Ashley's advice, deposited the funds into a joint account to help manage household expenses. She trusted her daughter completely. Within the first year, Marlene noticed the account draining faster than expected. Ashley had dipped into the money for a kitchen remodel, school tuition for the grandkids, and even a trip to Disney. When Marlene asked about it, the mood shifted. Ashley became cold and defensive, insisting that everything was for the good of the family. By the time Marlene fully understood what had happened, she was down to her last $12,000. And because the account was joint, there was no legal recourse. She had signed away her protection without even realizing it. This isn't about blaming our children, it's about recognizing the painful truth that love doesn't cancel out the risks of money. Even in the most well-meaning families, financial boundaries get blurry fast when you live under the same roof. Who pays for what? Are you expected to contribute to groceries? The mortgage? What about medical bills or emergencies? And when a grandchild needs help with college or a car, guess who everyone silently looks toward? The psychological toll is just as devastating. Seniors who move in with their children often report feeling like a burden, even if no one says it aloud. The dynamic shifts. You're no longer the parent who built a life, you become the extra person in someone else's home. And with that shift comes pressure, guilt, and often deep regret. But there is a better way. If you're considering living close to family in your later years, maintain your independence, especially financially. Keep your own bank accounts. Never, under any circumstance, mix your money with your children's, no matter how much you trust them. If they suggest a joint account, politely decline. Protect your assets legally by meeting with a certified elder law attorney before making any major decisions. They can help you establish safeguards like power of attorney, trusts, and written agreements that clearly define financial boundaries. Instead of moving in together, consider living nearby in a smaller, manageable home or senior-friendly apartment. That way, you remain close for emotional support and connection, but maintain your own space and control. And if you ever need caregiving help, explore professional assistance first. There are many options that allow you to age with dignity without placing that full responsibility, financial and emotional, on your family. Most seniors who lost everything never believed it could happen to them. They trusted, they gave, they said yes without thinking twice, and later, they paid the price. You've worked your entire life to build what you have. You deserve to enjoy your retirement without fear, shame, or financial devastation. So ask yourself now, have you protected your future? Have you drawn the line between love and money? Don't wait until it's too late to find out. Number 2, loss of independence, the silent killer. There's something most people don't warn you about when you move in with your adult children. It's not just the money or the lack of privacy, it's the slow, quiet loss of your independence. At first, it may not seem like a big deal. You've lived a full life. You've raised kids, worked hard, made your own decisions for decades. So what's the harm in letting your daughter help you organize your medications, or your son remind you when it's time for dinner? But gradually, piece by piece, that control you once had over your own life begins to slip away. And the impact isn't just emotional, it's deeply physical and psychological. Gerontologists and aging experts have studied this carefully, and what they've found is sobering. According to Dr. Elizabeth Morrison, Director of Geriatric Psychology at Northwestern University, losing decision-making autonomy can lead to depression, cognitive decline, and even earlier death. It's not just uncomfortable, it's dangerous. The effect of suddenly losing your independence is comparable to suffering a severe illness. The human mind, especially in later life, is deeply tied to a sense of control and purpose. Take that away and you take away a person's will to stay engaged with life. Let me tell you about Harold. He was 76 when his son convinced him to leave his condo in Florida and move into the guest suite above the garage in his family's suburban home outside Chicago. It was meant to be temporary. Harold had just recovered from a hip surgery, and everyone thought it would be safer for him to be nearby. At first, it seemed fine. The grandkids were around, dinner was always cooked, and Harold didn't have to worry about stairs. But slowly, he began to notice things. He couldn't leave the house without checking someone's schedule first. His son preferred he not drive in the winter, so his keys were quietly taken away. When he tried to make breakfast on his own, he was told to sit down and wait. "We've got it, Dad." The bathroom schedule became a topic of discussion. He was asked to lower the volume on his TV in the evening because it disrupted bedtime routines. He started feeling like a guest in his own life. After a few months, Harold stopped going out to meet his old friends. It just felt like too much trouble. He stayed in his room longer each day. He slept more. He ate less. At his next checkup, his doctor noticed a sharp decline in his cognitive tests. Harold, once full of humor and sharp wit, had grown quiet, forgetful, and visibly downcast. This is what happens when independence is lost, even with the best intentions. Children don't mean to take over. They think they're helping. But gradually, they begin managing your routines, your meals, your outings, and even your social life. What starts as support turns into control, and you, a full-grown adult who's lived a full, rich life, are suddenly in a position where you feel like a child in your own family. That feeling, that erosion of dignity and self-determination, is crushing. And once it's gone, it's incredibly hard to get back. You begin to second-guess your own choices, avoid speaking up, and eventually you stop asking for anything at all. This isn't just about pride. It's about mental health, quality of life, and aging with dignity. So what can you do instead? The most important step is to guard your independence fiercely. If you want to be close to family, that's a beautiful thing, but do it on your terms. Consider independent living communities where you have your own apartment, neighbors your age, and staff who are there to support, not control you. Or look into renting or buying a small place near your children, where you can see them often but still live your own life. Even a studio apartment you can call your own is better than giving up your autonomy in someone else's house. If finances are tight, don't panic. There are options. Senior housing programs exist in most communities, and many offer subsidized apartments specifically for older adults. You can also explore shared housing with another senior, someone in a similar situation who's looking for company and independence. These arrangements allow you to stay connected, maintain control, and preserve your dignity. And if you're even thinking about changing your living situation in the next few years, start researching now. Many good communities have long waiting lists, and being prepared gives you more control and choice. The question you must ask yourself is this: is living with your children worth the hidden cost of losing your independence, your voice, and your freedom? Because once it's gone, it's not easy to reclaim. You deserve to live the rest of your life with dignity, purpose, and control. Don't give that away, not for comfort, not for convenience, not for anyone. If you found these insights valuable, let me know by commenting yes below. Your thoughts matter, and I'd love to hear from you. Number 3, family relationship destruction. One of the hardest truths to face as we age is that even the closest, most loving family relationships can fall apart under pressure. And moving in with your adult children can be one of the fastest ways to make that happen. Most people never see it coming. You share years of love, memories, and trust with your children. You've watched them grow up, supported them through life's ups and downs, and now they're offering you a place in their home. It feels like a natural, even beautiful, next step. But what begins as an act of care can quickly become the source of deep emotional damage that may never fully heal. Family therapists who specialize in multi-generational living warn that more than 70% of these arrangements lead to serious strain or breakdowns in the parent-child relationship. That's not because people don't love each other. It's because living together as adults under the same roof fundamentally changes how we relate to one another. According to Dr. Samuel Livingston, a family therapy researcher at Boston University, even with the best planning and intentions, resentment almost always builds on both sides. And once it does, it's incredibly hard to undo. Let me share the story of Evelyn. She was 77 when she moved in with her son Mark and his family after recovering from a brief hospital stay. Evelyn and Mark had always been close, phone calls every morning, Sunday dinners, and holidays spent together without fail. So when Mark suggested she come live with them for peace of mind and to be closer to her grandkids, Evelyn felt grateful and safe. But within weeks, the energy in the house shifted. Evelyn, used to her own rhythm and quiet mornings, now had to adjust to a busy household filled with noise, chaos, and schedules that weren't hers. Mark's wife felt increasingly resentful of the unspoken expectation to be caregiver, cook, and companion. The grandkids, once excited to have grandma around, grew tired of being reminded to keep it down or wash their hands more often. Tensions built in small ways, silent dinners, snapped comments, passive-aggressive exchanges, and grew into daily arguments that left everyone emotionally exhausted. Evelyn felt disrespected and invisible. Mark felt trapped between his mother and his marriage. Eventually, Evelyn moved into a senior housing complex nearby, but the damage was done. The warmth they once shared never returned. Phone calls became brief, holidays grew awkward, and after a while, the connection simply faded. 3 years later, Evelyn sees her grandchildren only once or twice a year, and when she does, it's strained and formal. This story isn't rare. It's reality for far too many families who tried to blend generations under one roof. The reason is simple. Living together creates constant friction. Differences in sleep schedules, food preferences, noise levels, and how clean the kitchen should be after dinner start to grind people down. The roles become confused. You're no longer the parent guiding the household. You're a dependent, a guest, or worse, an obligation. And once that shift happens, the dynamic never feels the same. Even in the most loving families, emotional boundaries blur. Adult children feel the pressure of caregiving, managing household responsibilities, and maintaining their own lives. Older parents often feel judged, unwanted, or like they're in the way. These feelings grow quietly until one bad conversation turns into weeks of silence. And then, it's too late. So what's the alternative? It's simple but powerful. Maintain your own space. You can still be close, visit often, share meals, spend time with the grandkids, but have your own front door to walk through at the end of the day. This preserves your identity as a parent and as an individual. It gives you dignity and gives your children breathing room to be your family, not your caretakers. If money is a concern, explore smaller apartments, senior housing options, or shared living arrangements with other older adults. These choices offer both affordability and autonomy. Ask yourself, Is saving a few $100s a month worth the risk of never being truly close to your children again? For most people, the answer is no. But by the time they realize it, the damage is already done. Your relationship with your children is one of the most precious parts of your life. Don't gamble it away for short-term convenience. Protect that bond by protecting your space, your independence, and your role as a parent, not a housemate. You've come too far and worked too hard to lose what matters most. Number 4. Mental and physical health decline. Most people don't realize that moving in with your adult children doesn't just impact your lifestyle, it can seriously harm your health, both mentally and physically. The decline doesn't always show up right away, but over time the effects are undeniable. Medical research published in the Journal of Aging Studies confirms what geriatric specialists have observed for years. When older adults lose their independent living status, their health often takes a sharp turn for the worse. It's not simply about adjusting to a new environment, it's about losing control over the routines and surroundings that have kept you stable and well. Dr. Michael Fenster, Chief of Geriatric Medicine at the Mayo Clinic, puts it plainly. When seniors move into their children's homes, there's a noticeable spike in cases of depression, anxiety, disrupted sleep, and worsening of chronic illnesses like heart disease and dementia. The changes may seem small at first, a missed walk, a shifted meal schedule, a few sleepless nights, but they stack up quickly. When you're no longer in charge of your day-to-day life, your body and mind feel that loss deeply. This decline often begins with the disruption of daily routines. Your walk in the morning becomes difficult to keep up because no one else is available to go with you. Meals happen on someone else's timeline, which throws off your medication schedule. Noise levels you can't control make it harder to rest. The stress of constant adjustments builds over time, and it wears you down. Even the best-intentioned family environment can't replicate the structure and peace of your own space, where you decide how your day looks and how you care for yourself. Health is about more than medication and doctor visits. It's about consistency, comfort, and control. The moment you move into someone else's household, even a loving one, you risk losing those pillars of well-being. It becomes harder to prioritize your own health when you're trying not to be a burden. You might skip a walk so you don't interfere with the grandkids' playtime. You might eat something that doesn't align with your dietary needs just to keep the peace at dinner. You might avoid mentioning pain or symptoms because you don't want to cause worry. But your body keeps track of every compromise. Relocation also often means changing doctors, which disrupts your care continuity. A physician who knows your medical history inside and out might be replaced by someone unfamiliar with your long-term needs. Communication gaps, new prescriptions, and missed nuances in your health can easily lead to complications. The stress of navigating a new healthcare system in an unfamiliar area only adds to the emotional toll. There's a reason why seniors who maintain their own households with some support, if needed, tend to stay healthier longer than those who move in with family. The ability to control your environment, stick to your own routines, and receive care on your terms helps you stay balanced. If you need help with daily tasks, in-home services are a far better alternative than giving up your space. You remain in your familiar surroundings, but you get the assistance that fits into your life, not the other way around. Talk to your doctor before making any major change to your living situation. Ask them how a move like this could affect your health, especially if you already manage chronic conditions. Most seniors underestimate the physical cost of losing their autonomy until it's too late, until their blood pressure spikes, their energy disappears, or their spirit starts to fade. Ask yourself this: is easing your child's worry worth risking your own health? Because when your health suffers, the burden on your family only increases. The kindest, smartest thing you can do for yourself and your loved ones is to protect your independence. That is what keeps you strong. That is what keeps you well. Number 5. Legal vulnerability and elder abuse risk. Most people never think it could happen in their own family, but moving in with your adult children can quietly open the door to something few want to talk about: legal vulnerability and elder abuse. Even in families where there's always been trust and love, the dynamics can shift quickly when money, care responsibilities, and control start to blur. Elder law attorneys across the country are seeing the same disturbing trend. Seniors who move in with family members are significantly more likely to experience exploitation, often without realizing it until it's too late. According to the American Bar Association's Commission on Law and Aging, seniors living with family are nearly 3 times more likely to suffer some form of elder abuse than those who live independently. And this abuse doesn't always come with bruises or raised voices. It often starts with paperwork, casual decisions made for your own good, and small boundary crossings that slowly build into a situation where you no longer have control over your own life. It's heartbreaking how often this plays out. A parent, wanting to make things easier for everyone, adds their adult child to their bank account. They transfer ownership of their home with the idea that it's just a precaution. They sign a power of attorney prepared by a well-meaning friend or non-specialist, not realizing they're giving away legal authority that can be used against them. And then one day, they go to make a financial decision or try to leave and find out they no longer have the power to do so. This isn't just theory. It's reality for many. Legal protections that should exist are either overlooked or never put in place properly. And once control is lost, it's incredibly difficult to get it back. What makes it worse is that abuse often comes dressed in concern. It might look like a child managing your bills, selling your things to simplify your life, or making decisions on your behalf because you're too stressed. But underneath, the balance of power has shifted, and when financial pressure or caregiving stress enters the picture, even the most loving family members can make choices that cross the line. What makes this so dangerous is how hard it is to speak up once you're in that situation. If your housing or money is tied to your child, it's terrifying to challenge them. Many seniors stay silent out of fear of being homeless, of losing contact with grandchildren, or simply of rocking the boat. But silence doesn't protect you. It only gives the problem more time to grow. There is, however, a way to protect yourself, one that doesn't involve cutting ties with your family, but instead reinforces them with clear boundaries and smart planning. First, maintain your legal autonomy, no matter how convenient it may seem to do otherwise. Don't add anyone to your bank accounts or property deeds. These steps, while often suggested as simple or harmless, can completely strip you of control over your finances. Always work with an elder law attorney, not a generalist, to set up proper documents. These professionals understand the nuances of protecting seniors and will help you create durable powers of attorney, trusts, and care contracts that actually serve your best interests. If you are receiving care or contributing financially to a household, everything should be documented with clarity. A written care agreement can prevent misunderstandings and ensure everyone stays accountable. And most importantly, this kind of planning protects your voice, so you continue to make decisions about your life, your money, and your future. Before making any major move, schedule a consultation with an elder law attorney. Many offer free or low-cost initial appointments, and the peace of mind they can provide is priceless. You may trust your children deeply now, but none of us can predict how stress, money, or time will change people. What you can do is prepare wisely, with love and foresight. Your independence isn't just a comfort, it's your greatest protection. Keep it, guard it, and give yourself the chance to enjoy the years ahead with dignity, security, and the freedom to live on your terms. If you found these insights valuable, let me know by commenting yes below. Your thoughts matter, and I'd love to hear from you. If you're over 70 and thinking about moving in with your children, stop and think hard. I made that choice, and I lost everything. My home, my savings, my health, and worst of all, the relationship with my own family. You don't have to make the same mistake. Your independence isn't a luxury, it's your lifeline. Protect it with everything you've got. If this video struck a chord, share it with someone who needs to hear the truth. Let it be the start of a real, honest conversation before it's too late. Hit that subscribe button for more life-saving advice for seniors, and drop a comment below if you face this pressure too. I read every single one. You're not alone. Let's protect what truly matters while we still can.